Okay, now we start on costing for overhead. Last week we cover what is overhead, how to calculate overhead, because it's really hard to absorb overhead into each cost product, because we already know. Okay. Okay, we already know in product cost we have direct material, direct labor, and overhead. Okay. For direct material and direct labor is easy. We can trace it into unit of product, unit product, because this is a variable, right, and it's really easy to identify for each product. But for overhead, normally we just dump in all the total and then put it as a total overhead. Then how we calculate it? Last week we actually using planned white blanket concept. Plain white blanket concept, which means you put everything in the white blanket and then you close it all the total. You close it all the expenses, and then we assume that is our overhead cost. Then we find our predetermined overhead. Overhead rate, right? Because we have to budget every single month or every single year, so that's why we need predetermined overhead rate, so that we can put it as a benchmark. So overhead, as we know, we have cost driver. Which is the activities that cost that can result cost increase in your factory. So normally we know that we have machine hour and we have labor hour. Okay, this is the two famous cost driver, but usually we have plenty and a lot of cost driver that we can create it for our business and for our manufacturing factory. Maybe we can use it as area, square feet as our denominator. Maybe we can use as value of machine if we want to calculate the depreciation, or maybe we can use number of employee. This is how we want to measure overhead. So this is our cost driver. Okay, last week what we learned is we total all overhead under one roof, right? All the overhead that happen under one roof, under factory, whatever expenses happen in the factory, we will calculate and then we total out. Then we assume that is our overhead. Okay, what if in your factory can be divided into a cost center? This is production can be divided into production department, and can be divided into service department, this is service department that provide service to the production. For example, maybe canteen, maybe maintenance, but still they are under factory, but still we assume this is our department. Okay, imagine if the production can be divided into two, maybe machine A divided by department, which means a small department, right? Okay, machine B, and this is maybe finishing, right? Finishing and service department also can be divided into two. I just give you the example just now, maybe canteen and maintenance. Alright, so what if each of these departments have their own overhead, which means maintenance also have their own overhead, canteen also have their own overhead, finishing also have their own overhead, machine B is have also their own overhead. So this is the total of overhead that we calculate before, when we segregate all the costs. Alright, so from here, let's say you are doing, first is product A. Product A, and then second you have product Z. Okay, for product A, imagine this product A will be go through machine A, we go through machine B, we go through the finishing, and also these three production department. But product Z, because maybe this is a finished good, or maybe this is different product which is didn't have to go through machine A and B and just go through the finishing department. Okay, let's say if we do total overhead department, right? Total all overhead, if we have predetermined overhead, which is the total, it can be 90,000 divided by labor, maybe labor hour, so 90,000. So let's say the POR is $10. Okay, actually this 90,000 overhead can be divided into this all department. Maybe service department is 300. This is 600,000. We can divide it. Alright, so this is the overhead that be separated, which means to be allocated to the different department. But this overhead not only cover this one production, only not we don't cover. That means this 600,000 is not come from one department, but it come from three departments. So when we allocate this 900,000 overhead, we allocate into two departments, which is this, we call it cost center. This is, we call it cost center. Can be because overhead can be allocated into the certain department, certain cost center. So this is the 600 is come from the production department allocated. So this is called cost allocation. But this 600,000, even though has been allocated into the cost center, but still we have to divide this overhead equally, fairly, equitably. So this is, we call it cost apportionment. So 600,000, this can be 200,000. So this can be 200,000. So this is can be 200,000. So this we have to divide the overhead into each department, which is, we call it apportioned, cost apportionment, which means we divided the overhead cost equally, fairly to each department. So each department, they have different kind of activities and different kinds of purpose. Like canteen, we have different kind of purpose. Maintenance is to maintain the machine A and B, and also machine A and B is the production, and finishing also the production. So based on this department purpose, of course they will have different kind of cost driver or allocation base. Allocation base. So that's why we have different kind of cost driver. So maybe maintenance we can base on what else? Maintenance maybe can base on number of employee, because number of employee, how to calculate your overhead inside each department. So this one, it can be direct labor. This is can be machine hour. This one is can be finishing, can based on what else we have here, area. So from here, that's why we need more comprehensive and more complicated ways to calculate our overhead. Like this one, if product A, let's say this is 200,000, labor hour is 110,000. So that means per hour is 20. If machine hour also, let's say 20, not 20, is it 20? 10,000? Yes, 20. Yes, 20. So if machine hour, if 20,000, so per hour will be $10. So if finishing is, let's say 200,000 too, let's say 200,000, so the overhead rate will be $1. They say $1. Okay, when we want to calculate the overhead, let's say product A is past product A, B, and C. So that means the overhead rate is 31 per hour. If the product A need 5 hours to produce, that means we the overhead rate is 155. Is it correct? 155 overhead, right? So that means product A is for product A overhead is 155. Let's say if we use a total plain white blanket, which means you use a traditional method, which is product Z didn't pass. They don't need to pass machine A and B. They just only go to finishing area, which is only $1. So product Z only absorb overhead $1 per hour. If 5 hours is only $5. Can you see the difference? Which means with this kind of calculation, which is we will learn after this, after this today for today class, which means we can identify which is product we can still maintain, which of the product which we have to discard from the production, or using too much cost and not gaining any profit. So from here, from this calculation for overhead, because from here we can calculate our product cost. After all, we can calculate our product cost after all, right? So from here, you can decide which is product you can keep for your production, which is product you maybe you can if you see product A and Z didn't take much cost, and also you have still have improvement, maybe you still have room for improvement, and you still have enough money to introduce new product, then you can introduce product Y. But if product A is taking too much cost, incurs still keep losing money, so you can decline, or maybe you can just delete the product from the production. Okay, now I hope you understand the whole story of this overhead. All right, so for overhead, we have different kind of overhead. We have production, we have administration, selling, and distribution. So production, of course, is what happen in your factory when you produce your product. For administration, of course, is whatever happen in the general and administration, which is for administrative activities. But selling, of course, when your product already take out from the factory and then we go to the warehouse, and any activity that involves selling, then distribution, maybe marketing, or maybe any commission to your sales manager and sales promoter, and for marketing managers, and all the salary that involve selling and distribution. So we call it selling overhead and distribution. So selling is one overhead, distribution is one overhead. All right, overhead are apportioned to the cost center or department. That's why I give you the example just now. So the whole overhead has been apportioned, which means has been divided into cost center. So cost center is where the overhead has been calculated, has been collected. It can be accumulated into each department or each cost center. And then there are two category, to facilitate absorption of overhead into a cost unit. Two category of cost center, which is production and service department. All right. In order to do your overhead, in order to calculate overhead, which is we will do this kind of overhead analysis sheet. So this is the example that if you are a costing manager and if you are a costing accountant, then you have to do this kind of overhead analysis sheet. So to calculate overhead, we need two types of distribution. First is primary distribution. We still have okay, distribution. I'm not sure. Right. And second one will be secondary distribution. All right. Let me tell you what is primary and what is primary and secondary. Okay, primary is the first stage, which is first stage of distribution, which means we calculate your overhead based on the portion, based on the basis. Okay, first stage, usually we will calculate all the expenses or all the overhead. This is the type of overhead that will be listed down for the company. Then we will identify which basis, which is cost driver for each of this overhead. Then this overhead has been segregated, a portion, which means has been divided into each department, cost center. So normally we have two cost center. Two cost center, which is production cost center, and the other one will be service cost center. Alright, so this is our cost center, which is this cost center, like production cost center can be divided into two. One is A, one is B, can be divided into C too. It can be divided into 3 and 4. So services also can be divided into two, but in this question and in this example, they only give you two production cost center and two cost center, production and service. Under production cost center, they have two department, and under service cost center only have one department, which is canteen. Okay, the first stage that you have to do is you have to this is the collection of, we have to do the collection of overhead. So this is the collection of overhead, the list of overhead. Then we have to allocate each of these overhead into each department equitably or fairly. So from here, we identify the basis, the cost driver here. Cost driver. Alright, so indirect material, normally if you find this question anywhere or maybe we will try to do this question, indirect material and indirect wages, they have direct allocation. So that means you don't need to calculate for each production or service center. Normally you just take the number from the question and just put inside the each department that has been respective according to the respective question. Okay, then we go to rent, heat and light, supervision, insurance, depreciation and maintenance. And normally we identify the basis, which is heat and light. We use area. Rent we will use area. Supervision we will do use number of employee, because supervisor, right? Supervisor have to supervise employee, right? So the basis to calculate your supervision is based on number of employee. Insurance of building, the basis to calculate the overhead or cost driver is area, which means the more area that you use for building, the more area that we have for building, the more insurance we need to pay. Okay, depreciation of machinery. So it's based on cost of machinery, which means the higher cost of machinery, the higher depreciation that will be happen every single year. Okay, maintenance is based on maintenance hour. That's why these cost driver can be vary according to the activities and also department based on the activity. Based on the activity. So from here, this is the first stage, which is a primary distribute. So we distribute all of this overhead into each department, production A, production B, and production C. Then each question will give you how much has been apportioned for production A, B, and C based on their cost driver. So I will give you the example of this. So secondary distribution is mean you have to reapportionment service center to production center. Why? Because product cost per unit is only calculated when I already put some notes here, but it's okay. Only calculated under the production department, because under this production department, which is the total of this total of the overhead will be calculated into the cost product. So this service product have to reapportion. We already reapportion the overhead rate, right? This total overhead rate we already apportion into 3 departments. But once you get the total overhead here, we have to reapportion. We mean this cost center must be divided into production A and production B, so that this cost can be calculated together when we want to calculate our product unit. So after we reapportion of the service cost center, then this also reapportionment also have their own basis. Normally will be given in the question. So after that, then we get this total. This total we need to find the POR, predetermined overhead rate, based on their cost driver. So from here, this is what we want to find. Because last week, we just get the total, and we divided by cost driver, right? But this time around, we need to apportion, we need to allocate very carefully the overhead rate in order to calculate your cost driver. All right. So, okay, this is the example of the basis apportionment. Normally, sometimes the question didn't give you directly the basis. You just have to think what is this activity is related to what basis. This activity related to what basis. If the question, I try to give you more exercise so that we familiar which overhead is related to the to the cost driver. Okay, now we go to overhead. Rent, rates, depreciation of building, fire insurance is related to area and space occupied. So normally we base on square feet. It can be square feet based on area. So supervision, welfare, wages, and canteen express, we base on the cost driver or allocation based on number of employee. Material handling and storage based on number of material requisitioned. Power consumed, this one can be lighting. This one can be no lighting here. Right? So can be technical estimate, and depreciation insurance based on asset value or book value. Fire insurance is based on value of stock. So this is common basis. So then we go to okay, this is the question that normally you will be find in for costing for labor. So okay, this question I just take picture from the book because I don't have scanners. I'm really sorry. So they have one miss item here, direct material 10,000, and they have department A, B for the production department, C is for service. Okay. All right. The question should be look like this. So direct material is 10,000, direct labor is 4,000, and this is the wages. This is the overhead, which is we accumulate all the collection of overhead, which means we have indirect material, indirect wages, we have rent, we have heat and light, and supervision. So this is the total of overhead for the whole 3 department, for the whole 2 cost center, which is we have to divide it into A, B, C. So this is we have to calculate A, B, and C. A, B, and C. So this is the additional information, which is this is our allocation base. Okay, this is our allocation base or cost driver. So this is for department A, B, and C. It's based on area. 1,000 square feet is occupied by A. 600 square feet is occupied by B. 400 square feet occupied by C. And machine cost, the total will be 20,000, right? This one, the total cost. for machine cost. So 10,000 amount of cost has been used by Department A. 15,000 cost amount of machine cost of 15,000 used by Department C, and they have machine in the service department for 5,000. And number employee 500 work in Department A, 300 work in Department C, B, 200 work in Department C. And maintenance hours normally is involve machine, so only A and B 1,500 and 2,500. Okay, this is actually the ratio that we need to calculate. So this is 1,000. Is it 1,000? Okay, this is 1,000. So this is 4,000. So from here we can calculate the ratio that we need to calculate in order to divide this one. All right. If machine cost, so this is machine cost 10. Oh, okay, sorry. So this is 10 per 20. So this is 15 per 20. So this is 5 per 20. Maybe we can just, okay, it's okay. So if machine cost, which one? If the supervision is based on machine cost, in order to calculate every single department, we are based on this portion. So 10 per 20 of supervision will go to Department A. 15 per 20 of supervision, this 1,500, we go to Department B. 5 per 20 of supervision, we go to Department C. So this is how we calculate. So we have to calculate based on this ratio. So this is the allocation cost. All right. So how to calculate this one? This is the solution. Okay, indirect material, like I said before, is a direct allocation. They already give you. It's very easy. They already allocate. This is Department A, this is Department C, Department A, B, and C. Indirect wages, also direct allocation, A, B, and C. So you just put the number here, 312, 1,800 and 2,200. So is it correct? So 3,000, 1,200, 2,400. Yes, 2,000. I think there is some mistake with this question. Hopefully the same question. Okay, let me check first. Yes, I think there is mistake in this question. So this is correct. Sorry. All right. So this one is 3,000. This one is 1,800. So this one 2,000. All right. So some mistake from the book. All right. So from here you just direct put inside the department. But here rent, heat and light supervision is based on first rent and heat and light is based on area. So this area, how you want to calculate? This is area, right? So 2,000 here. 2,000 you have to calculate rent and heat and light, right? A is 10 per 20. B 6. Oh, okay. Sorry, 6 per 20. C is 4 per 20. So this portion, if we want to calculate for rent for production A, so that's mean 10 per 20 times 2,000. So this is how much? 6. 6 per 20 times 20,000. 2,000, sorry. And this one is 4 times 20 times 2,000. So from this you get this, you get the number. Hopefully it's correct. Okay, yes. So in order to find heat and light, how you distribute, how you apportion 10 per 20 from 3,500, 6 per 20 times 2, 3.5 thousand, and the last one 4 per 20 times 3.5 thousand. Okay, supervision is based on number of employee. Okay, this question they already give you the basis, but some of the question they didn't give you, so that's why we have to know which is normally rent is based on area, heat and light based on area, supervision based on number of employee. So supervision based on number of employee here, right? So it's 5 per 10, 3 per 10, 2 per 10. So from here, 1,500. I mistaken the. Oh, it's okay, Tasha. Nothing happened here. Okay. 532. So 5 per 10, 3 per 10, 2 per 10. So times 1,500, you get this number. You can check, you can calculate to make sure 1,500 and this 1,500. Okay, this is our primary distribution. This is our first stage of distribution of overhead. So you will get this total overhead. 20,000, this 20,000 has been apportioned into each. So 9,500, 4,900 and 5,600. All right. Then the second is step 3, reapportionment. Reapportionment, we call it as secondary distribution. These three. Are you guys understand until first primary distribution? Do you guys okay? Do you understand? Guys, Tashfia, Asia, Bhakti, Ian, are you guys okay? Any problems? Do you understand?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Is it clear?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Then this is the first distribution. Then we go to secondary distribution, which we have to reapportion this service into these two departments. Why? Because only the production cost center are directly involved in the manufacture of cost unit. So only these two total overhead will be absorbed into our product cost. All right. So that's why we need a reapportionment. All right. So this is what we calculate for first primary distribution, right? So 9,500, 4,500 and 5,600. And this will based on the maintenance. Based on the maintenance. So this is based on the maintenance. When we go back here, maintenance. This maintenance, right? 1,500 and 2,500. So A is 15 per 40. So B, the ratio will be 25 per 40. So from here we can calculate from 5,600. Here, this cost must be absorbed, must be apportioned into the production unit, because we only production cost center will be calculated into your product unit. So from here, how to calculate 15 per 40, 25 per 40, the ratio. So you have to calculate based on this. This is how you calculate. Yes, yes.
I don't understand how we get the ratio.
Okay, how I get the ratio from here? From here, dear. This one, the following additional information is available, right? So this is the allocation base. So for area, For A, using 1000 square meter. For B is using 600 square meter, and for C using 400 square meter. So from here the total is 2000 square meter, which mean this area, which mean this overhead, the allocation base is area, which means this 2000 will be divided into 2 square meters. So that's mean this 2000 rand is equivalent for 2000 square meter. You understand? So in order to divide into A, B and C based on the allocation base, so you need to divide, okay, 1000 square meter, 1000 square meter out of 2000 is for A. So 600 square meter is for B. So 400 square meter is for C. In order to calculate this 2000 overhead, you need to calculate based on this. That's why I give you a ratio. Why is become a ratio? Because I just do like this. You can do like this anyway. 1000 divided by 2000 times $2,000, 2000 ringgit. So you can calculate like this actually. But I minimize, which means I make it a ratio like this. You can divide like this, half from 2000. Same with here. 500 from 1000 times our supervision, 1500. You can do like this. But yeah, we can just do 5 per 10 from 1500 is for A. This is how you calculate it. So this is for A, this is for B, this is for C. How you divided the overhead based on this allocation. Do you understand here? Do you understand? So still confused. Okay.
What is the 1500?
1000, this one? Oh, 1500 is from here. Here. This is your overhead. This is your overhead. Okay. This is your total overhead for supervision. Okay. Supervision 1500. This is the total for Department A, Department B and Department C. This is the total of supervision. But supervision, the cost basis, which means the cost driver, how you want to divide this cost, 1500 based on what? Based on area, based number of employee. That means how you want to divide the overhead fairly. How you want to divide the overhead, allocate this overhead equitably, which means you have to divide all these costs into Department A, B and C, right? That's why we have cost driver. So based on cost driver, supervision, Department A we have 500. Department C we have 300. Department B got 300. Department C got 200. So this will be divided into each department. So from here, how you want to calculate is the total employee is 1000. So that you have to divide it into each department. So 1500 times 500 per 1000, then you get for Department A. If 1500 times 300 per 1000, then you get the number for Department B. Do you understand? It's just that It's just that, okay, let's say you live in the one house. I mean, you rent a house that you have 3 bedroom. 3 bedroom. So the rent will be per month will be 3,000. Right. So let's say if you live in the very small room, do you need to, and one of your friends live in a very big room and they have toilet inside the bedroom. So how you want to calculate your rent? How you want to divide your rent? Is it by 3? So, okay, everyone just pay 1,000 per month. Is it fair for you to pay 1,000 per month? Is it fair for you? You just have one small room and then your toilet is outside. You only can fit one bed and one bed and also your closet. Is it fair for you to pay 1,000? While your friend room is very big, have toilet inside the inside the room, and also have, you can put another sofa somewhere, but still have to pay the same amount that you paid. Is it fair? Just tell me.
No.
Not right. That's why we have to divide it into 3 bedroom based on what? Based on area. Right. That is the concept in overhead. So that's why the expenses, like here supervision, we have these expenses. We have to divide into each department based on what? Based on number of employee. That's why it's very crucial for you to identify what is the cost driver or allocation base. Now, do you understand?
Yes, Miss.
All right. Okay, very good. So, all right. Then we go, then that's why I give you this kind, okay, like indirect wages and indirect material. You don't need to calculate because the question already give you the direct. So department A, B, and C. A, B, and C. The expenses will be already allocated. But rent we have to allocate into 3 departments. So based on area. So this is the ratio that I showed you before. Heat and light based on ratio. Based on area ratio. Supervision based on number of employee. So then you get the first total overhead for each department here. 9,500, 4,900 and 5,600 for production A, B and service C. But in order to calculate your product cost, it's only involve your production. Your production unit, production cost. Then that's why the second step, this is our first step, and this is the second distribution, which means you have to distribute this total overhead into this production. You have to absorb, you have to allocate these this 5,600 cost into production A and B, and they also have the cost driver, which is maintenance. So this maintenance based on here, 1,500 for A, 2,500 for B. So from here we just calculate based on the ratio 15 per 40. It can be like this, 1,400 by 4,000, 2,400, 2,500 per 4,000 times 5,600. You still get the same amount. 11,600, 8,000, 400. So production A, total overhead. This is total overhead. For production A is 11,600, production B 8,400. Do you understand until this? Do you understand? Anyone still confused? Anyone have stay confused? Why we have to apportion the service center? Because we didn't count the service center to product cost. Because the product cost will be like this: direct material, direct labor, and overhead. So direct material based on the let's say this is 200, then direct labor will be paid 20 per hour for 5 hours. So this is 100. So overhead also will be involved 5 hours. So these 5 hours will be calculated by this amount. We have to find the POR rate, predetermined overhead rate. Okay. Now, which part do you don't understand? Any question before I move to second allocation method or absorption? Any question? Do you understand? Anyone? It's been 1 hour.
No question, Miss.
All right. Okay. I just go. All right. I just go to these two question example of two question. Then we finish for this topic. All right. So first is primary distribution. Primary distribution. Second is secondary distribution, which is we reapportioned the service to production. All right. From here, from the total here, actually we can find the pre-overhead rate. If they give, if they based on machine hour, do we have machine hour? No. If the cost give you machine hour, you just divide it by machine hour. If they give you direct labor hour, you just divide it by direct labor hour. Then you get the pre-overhead rate for 1 hour for overhead production A and B. This is then I will give you the question. Okay. Okay, this one total. This is we call it as overhead absorption. Overhead absorption. This is also the crucial part because this one will be use this concept into process costing, cost costing, and okay. Okay, this one is a bit easy, right? The following data for Hasni during the period of March is available. Total budgeted production overhead. Okay, this one they give you the total. They just give you total. So budgeted output unit is 2,000 unit. Budgeted direct labor hour is 1,200. Budgeted direct wages cost is 8,000. Budgeted direct material cost is 12,000. So this one is the same with last week that we learned about predetermined overhead rate. So let's say if this is the total, right? Let's say the total the POR based on direct labor hour. So you just divide it by direct labor hour. So if based on output total cost unit is 20,000 divided by 2,000 unit. Is based on direct wages cost. You just 20,000 divided by 8,000. If based on direct material cost, is 20,000 divided by 12,000. This is your predetermined rate. This rate you need to absorb, which means you need this rate in order to calculate your product cost. Okay. Now this is the answer. So direct material cost percentage rate, which mean, okay, direct material cost. This is direct material cost, 20,000. This is 20,000 divided by 12,000. So you will get percentage rate. 167% of material costs based on this. Okay, direct wages cost percentage, 20,000 divided by 8,000. Then we get 250,000 of direct wages cost. Prime cost is prime cost, of course, direct material plus direct labor, right? 12 plus 8,000. 12 plus 8,000. Then we get 100% of prime cost. Okay, direct labor hour is 16.67 per direct labor hour. Machine hour, we have machine hour here. Oh, maybe the question. Oh, okay, my fault. Okay, really sorry. Direct labor hour, 1,000. Machine hour, I didn't put it here because this one I okay, hours. All right. So the machine hour, 20,000 divided by, actually like this. So many mistakes. Okay, 20,000 divided by 1,000 hours. So each hour per machine hour is 20. So cost unit rate is 20,000 divided by 2,000 unit. So 10 ringgit per unit. Okay, from here, this is your cost driver. This is your cost driver. This is your cost driver. This is your types of cost driver. And then from here, you can calculate your predetermined overhead rate. So this is your predetermined overhead rate. This is what we learned last week. Last week, we only calculate these two types. So this is the type that we can also be our cost driver and for our pre-overhead rate. Predetermined overhead rate. So until here, anything that you don't understand, please ask me. Anyone understand? Do you understand? Or did I go too fast? Anyone? Anyone?
Yes, miss.
Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right. How about Bhatti? Do you understand? Tashfia? Q?
Yes, miss. It's clear.
Okay, very good. Then, okay, from here also is actually can be a conjunction from the question here. This one is different question, but actually from the same question, you can calculate until you can calculate your product cost. But this one, they give you another example. All right. Okay, now, can you see this? Okay, I'm really sorry I don't have scanner and I just take picture. Maybe if you can, okay, if you can read this. This is the conjunction of this example. So they give you direct material $30, 30 ringgit, direct wages 28 ringgit, direct labor, direct labor. Labor 28 ringgit and labor hour 5 hour per unit. Machine hour is 8 hour per unit from here. Then, all right. So using the rate has been computed in the previous illustration. Overhead absorbed to job number 55 can be obtained as follow. So so from here you can, this is our POR rate, right? This is our pre-overhead rate. And this one, you can calculate straight away the overhead absorbed. So 165, this is 165 of material cost. So how to calculate direct material cost percentage? 167% times 30. Then you will get 50 ringgit 10 cent for your overhead. This is your overhead rate. Okay, direct wages cost 250 from your, this one, right? 250 from your direct wages cost is from 28 ringgit. Then you get 70 ringgit. This is your overhead. Okay, prime cost percentage is 100%. Then that is 58 ringgit. And direct labor hour rate. Okay, here we calculate 16.67 per direct labor. So we need 5 hours. We just times 5, 83.35. This is also your overhead. Okay, machine hour is 8 hours. So we get here $20, 20 ringgit, times 8 here. So you will get 160 ringgit. And cost unit rate is 10 ringgit. And the question we give you the assumption. The production cost for job 55 can now be calculated. The assumption is that only one rate is used for the whole production process. Let's say if we choose direct labor absorption, so this one, if we choose this is as our cost driver, and this is how we calculate our overhead, which is 83.35. So how to calculate your product cost? Direct material, direct labor, and overhead. So 30 ringgit here plus 28 ringgit plus the rate that we choose for your whole production. So 83.35. So the total is for 141.35 per product cost per product unit. So that's it. That is the whole chapters. So from here, actually, they can give you the total machine hour and total labor hour here. So you just calculate your POR unit, and then they give you another information, how much is your direct material and direct labor, right? And this question also already give you, right? See? Direct material and direct labor. So at the end of the calculation, actually you can calculate your product cost. Like here. This is, we call it absorption. That's why it's really hard to determine your overhead. Okay, that's it. End of the whole chapters for costing for overhead. So any question, do you understand, or am I going too fast? Especially on absorption cost, absorption rate, overhead absorption.